In the past, we could talk about these things, but now that you have gone accrual, what you have put in your balance sheet as a liability, you must live with it.
Chair, I understand the dilemma that the governor is in, and we have had these conversations with your colleagues from across the other counties on this verification process. And the advice we've given previously is maybe you pay attention so that
could we get your attention so that
Sorry. Yes.
the other resolution we made as a house is that you do not begin any new projects until you're able to clear your pending bills.
You know that is killing us, honestly.
Just a minute. I am just taking you through the resolution, and we did write to you as a house. I have not seen a letter from you saying you are killing us. I don't know why you are telling me now. Governor, that was the resolution of the Senate, not Sifuna, the House. And we communicated this resolution to you. We have not heard from you, either individually or as a council of governors, saying that the resolutions of the Senate are not implementable. You see? That is the sort of relationship we would want with the council, is such that if there is issues like those, you communicate. So I wanted you to confirm. Are you in compliance, first of all, with the resolutions of the Senate as a county government?
Certainly not. I am not, because to tell me that I cannot start any new project until I clear pending bills, and the practicability of it is not possible, because you know, I came in on some promises, on an agenda, and that must be a priority, both to me and the people who voted for me. So to tell me that first pay the pending bills, and if I have a development budget of 1.3 billion, 1.5 billion, then I have to first pay some 2 billion, then is really crippling the work of government. And so that's why I'm saying we need to have very, very candid conversation around this issue. It's not enough to, and while we appreciate that the House, the Senate, you know, will pass resolutions, will pass motions, I think it's good that we have this conversation. And I must say, yes, I admit that I should have written back to say, I don't think this is possible because of 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't do it, and I think now I should. I will actually make sure I do so. But also say, Senator, you asked, have we communicated to these people? What we did after we did the verification, we had a presser, and also we posted that we now have done this. We have some verified pending bills. We are those that are not fully verified because certain documents are missing. Please, if you look at the report, and because we communicated the report also, come and bring the documents. Then, and some people actually brought documents thereafter. So yes, we did communicate, but let me say we didn't do individually to the different contractors.
Now, I've gotten feedback from the OAG about this confusion in numbers. OAG, what is your guidance on the numbers that we should rely on?
We rely on the numbers which are in the financial statements. Although our query was based actually on their own schedules that they had provided to us. We were comparing what was outstanding as at the end of 30th June 2024, which was 2.2 billion. And from their own analysis of the aging analysis provided by the county, the schedule had current payable balances of 1.1 billion 560 148 304, while the outstanding payables balance as the last financial year was 1 billion 521 621 076. These are trade payables. This represented an increase of 38 billion. So we actually provided our report based on the analysis.
Yeah, you see, the numbers don't relate to what we have here. Did they resubmit their financial statements?
No, the figures that are there are correct. What we reported on was their analysis, the nitty-gritties. Okay. The analysis provided by the county.
Fine. Let's not get lost in the trees. Let's go back and look at the forest. And I think that the first recommendation we must make is that there has to be a reconciliation. Numbers must be consistent, whether it's COB or OAG or the entity, so that we have an exact number, even if it's a variance of 200, 300, but it cannot be a variance of tens of millions. Number two, Governor, I will repeat this. The fact that your accountants have introduced 1.7 billion in your balance sheet, you must go back and confirm that that is the amount that should be there, because once it is there, I don't know how it can move. ISPAC, once you have 1.7 billion as a liability, it can only move if it has been paid. Not verification, payment.
Yeah, payment.
Yeah, so
or write-off.
Or write-off. So once you have assumed 1.7 billion, then the stories of we are still verifying technically does not suffice. So go back, have that conversation with your team so that you can agree that that is a liability you are carrying. Thirdly, compliance with the resolution of the Senate. We are going to make a similar recommendation, and within 60 days, we'll require you to do what Senator Sifuna has asked, to write back to us, to tell us that you have complied, and if you cannot comply, give us reasons why. Fourthly, you must scale up your ambition. And I think you have also agreed that 100 million a year might not resolve this problem. So we'll leave that to you in your supplementary, your budgeting, your county assembly, because you had said you have your priorities and your programs as a governor. But those priorities and programs must also be consistent with the law that requires spending bills to be a fast charge, that requires staff payables to be settled, that requires retentions. And to close it, I want Senator Mundigi maybe to point us to what we have left out.
Asante Chairperson. Senate kulingana na sheria inasema pending bill yote ilipwe. Nakumbuka hiyo tulikuwa tunang'ang'ana naye. Lakini hiyo ndio uliona sisi county zile 14 wakati tulikuwa nasema mtuongezee pesa. Embu iko na 4 sub counties moja. Sasa wakati governor aliingia alikuta pending bill hiyo inasemekana 2.2, alafu unakuta hata wafanyikazi hawakuwa wanalipwa pesa juu ya pesa uzeeni, ikawa kuna deni about 500 million. Ile najua hizo alilipa ndio wafanyikazi waweze kutulia kazini. Kwa hivyo ile pesa kulingana na mimi najua governor anafaa alipe hizo pending bill, lakini najua atangangana kwa sababu mwaka huu mlifanya vizuri, zile county nyingi kwa ni mmoja wewe. Ile pesa tulipata najua kama Embu tumepata around 600 million. Kwa hivyo sio anatetea nearest, ilikuwa nearest. Sio anatetea nearest. Sio anatetea governor, lakini ni kusema budget inakuja. Chairperson, mpaka counties zile kidogo iweze kupatiwa pesa nyingi ndio iweze kumaliza pending bill, ndio tuweze kuendelea na mambo ya development. Kwa sababu counties zingine zinaumia. Embu County ilikuwa haina chochote, ilikuwa na shida nyingi, na ndio naona tuko na changamoto ya shinda kwa hii mambo ya audit.
Mimi naona tusifungue mjadala. Naona tusonge mbele.
You know, Mundigi is reminding us of the things we have done to help these county governors to be able to deal with these issues. In fact, part of the explanation we got from the so-called smaller counties was that they would ensure, in fact, the debate was how do we ring fence this additional money so that the people of these small counties can actually benefit, so that we don't end up, again, you have added extra money, instead of us paying pending bills, we are hiring new staff and adding to the wage bill. So it is a critical conversation, and this week, Chair, we've been dealing with an issue here, which you framed as contempt of parliament. It has reminded me of another conversation you had with the COG on this question of remittances to the council. Yes. That even after the Senate passed a resolution to say that those payments were illegal, the COG comes back to the Senate and says, this is something we cannot do. I think this is the second time that the COG is telling us that we sat as a Senate to pass resolutions in our own wisdom. We thought that this is something that is supposed to help unclog the problems at the grassroots, especially with pending bills. We are now hearing the governor is saying she's going to write to us now to tell us that we were not wise to pass things that cannot be implemented on the ground. Perhaps you should...
I don't think those are the words I would have used. I would not say...
Governor, order. Let's have a conversation. I don't want an exchange.
Yeah, let me just finish, Governor. You know, you are now interrupting my thought process. But the point I was making is, Chair, perhaps we need to trade places. You know, some of our colleagues here want to be governors.
Reopen
I will not. I want to say the following. Chair, first of all, I hold the Senate with high regard because I have been a parliamentarian. And so the last person who would use some demeaning words to such a honorable house would be me. So for me, Senator, I would never write a letter saying how unwise you are. I would probably use a different language to explain myself and my circumstance. But let me say this, and I want to give an example. I found a total of 85 projects, health projects across the county that were at different levels of completion, mostly below 50%. we took up those projects. We have so far completed 32, complete. We have a budget this financial year where we are doing 29 to completion, and we intentionally decided that we will take up the entire project and make sure we complete it. So we allocated money to complete the 29. And out of the 29, currently 16 are ongoing. And so I would like to say that these are the struggles we've had. And sometimes you even find a particular project was really not necessary for that area because, you know, it's almost like building a dispensary for every village. But we still have decided, since they were done, started, and important for the people, let's complete them and operationalize them. Now, in the process of doing that, we are sorting pending bills, and we are even able to negotiate with the contractors who are in charge of some of those projects and telling them, continue, finish, as we try to look for money to pay whatever it is that is owed. So, and most of them have been completed through those negotiations and discussions. So we are not completely blind to the fact that we need to clear these bills, because some of these are projects that were important for the people. And that's why I've given the example of my health department that was, I think, the worst in terms of these pending bills and stalled projects, some for many, many years, and we are now completing.
I think, Governor, thank you for that. When you come back for the implementation follow-up, you will give us that account,
Yes.
And you'll also tell us which provisions of a resolution are implementable and which provisions cannot be implemented. And you know, that's parliamentary practice.
Yes.
When Parliament makes a resolution, it addresses it to the respective entities, and they have 60 to 90 days to write back. And if you find the resolution is not implementable, you have the duty, you have the space, you are allowed to write back to Parliament. So it's not something we are doing for the first time. That is parliamentary practice on resolutions, and we shall do that when you come back. So, honourable members, let's move. We've spent time on pending bills because it's a very, very huge amount, and it's a matter of great concern. Auditor, keep that in view, and clerks will frame our recommendations to ensure that there is accuracy in reporting. I want us to go to the next issue, which is still outstanding. Irregular extension of revenue collection and management automation system contract. Auditor General, you said some 3 million was paid via LPO number 66 and 76 without a formal recommendation from the Tender Evaluation Committee.
Yes, Chair. Kindly, with your permission, on the pending bills, we disclosed the correct figure. When you look at our report on page 3, we have talked of the current, the liabilities with the correct one as per the financial statements. And what is under the emphasis of matter, Chair, we just wanted to show the committee that the budget that had been allocated of 100 million vis-a-vis what was outstanding in 2023-2024 was not substantive enough to clear any bill. So what we did was just an analysis to show that the county had not done so much in terms of pending bills. Instead of the pending bills, the accounts payable reducing, they increased by 38 million. That is my clarification.
Yeah, I think we have said that in many words.
Okay.
Now let's come to the software license.
And then the software license, Chair, can I read the paragraph the way it is, or summarize?
At this rate, we'll leave this place at 6.
Okay.
The key thing here is that they issued these 2 LPOs without formal recommendation from the Tender Evaluation Committee.
Yes, Chair. The contract had expired on 6th of April 2023, so they extended it and paid the service provider 3 million via 2 LPOs, 66 and 76, without any evidence of approval from the committee, Tender Evaluation
Just on
Committee.
that point, because I'm struggling to find a response to that in your written responses, I'm not seeing it. Was there a formal recommendation from the Tender Evaluation Committee to extend this contract?
Through the Governor, Chair, I would like to state as follows.
Don't read the entire thing.
I'm not reading.
I'm trying to be very
Yes, I'll be
very
quick,
quick.
Chair,
Yeah.
with all due respect to the Chair. it is true, first of all, the contract had expired. And at the time when the contract expired, there were issues of transfer, handing over the system ownership and operation to the county government because we did not have the servers and the capability to manage it. What is being cited as an extension of contract is actually not really an extension of contract because the contract was for development. What faced with the
Prof, sorry, let me. I don't like to stop professors in their tracks because
Yes.
you're the ones who teach us. I just want us to be specific to the matter.
Yeah.
In your view, there was no need for a recommendation from a tender evaluation committee.
In my view, what we paid for was actually third-party costs that were being paid for us by the service provider. So third-party cost of hosting the system, Safaricom and telecoms, connectivities and all that. So there was really, it's like paying. Ordinarily would have been receiving that bill from the Safaricom and from hosting for us to be able to pay just like the way we pay Kenya Power.
So in your view, it was not a contract extension?
In my view, it was not a true contract extension.
OAG, in your view?
Chair, the contract had expired, and they continued using the same service provider. Probably maybe we need a documentation from the service provider to prove to this committee that you offered services free of charge. Without any payment.
We should lock the two of you. In a room until you agree on what the right interpretation ought to be.
Chair, maybe I can just say something. When we came in, we found that the service provider was Jambo Pay. And at the time from the national government, there was communication that the national government was coming up with a system for collection of revenue that was going to be used by all counties. I even had a meeting with the ICT State Department on the same, telling them that our contract with the current service provider is coming to an end and we really need the system up and running quickly because we also are not happy with the system collect money at all. And for like a day or two, we were in a crisis. And so hard decisions had to be made. We sat down, we told them, first of all, we had challenges because they had also not implemented the project as per the contracts. So we were clear in our minds, we cannot. We used that to tell them, you know, you people did not do 1, 2, 3, 4. They were supposed to create capacity. The system, they didn't do it. So it's on that basis we agreed, okay, since they said we can reopen as you try and figure what to do, but we have payments, we have basis, we agreed to pay them. That also took a while because we were trying to get it right and seeing which one has worked where, and we had so many on the table and we went round checking, and then finally we went through a tendering process. So we now have our own system, and we ensured that this time we entered into a contract that was not only a ration, other system, because we did an audit of the previous system, and the auditor raised very many issues that he found to have been things that he found wanting in the previous system and previous contract. So we now have a new system, Chair, it has really helped us to streamline. We have rolled out all the revenue streams. At some point, we couldn't roll out all the revenue streams at once, so you'd find Jambo Pay was locked on certain revenue streams, but others continued until we were in that space where we felt it's now safe to finally shut it down and move on with our new system. So that is our story that we've gone through with the system, because it was a system that was even being abused. They could lock from a certain place. People tried to pay because we had gone completely cashless. They find it's not possible, and we also had to do a lot of restructuring, ensuring our revenue authority was properly staffed, the structures were right. We put in place a new board, and that has helped us. Our revenue has started going up in a very encouraging way, and we hope to do even better this financial year.
We'll come to it. We'll come to it. We have looked at your revenue streams and the growth of your own source revenue. We'll come to it,
yes, so
that we can tie what you have explained to even performance of revenue. But what is the requirement of Section 139(1)(2) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act? That is the matter in question. Was this 3 million subject to Section 139(1)(2) of the Act? The Auditor General says yes. Professor says no. The Governor has given us a good story around it. So, OAG, National Treasury, they've stepped out, perhaps to avoid a protracted argument on this, because this is it's a matter of interpretation of the provisions of that act. OAG, do you think you need to review the documents and all those circumstances for you to take a view, or you are of the firm view that this 3 million was subjected to the contractual obligations when a procurement process is completed?
Thank you, Chair. Even from the system, the IFMI system you've just opened, it was on the contractual obligations, whereby we needed a tender evaluation report.
Fine. So you insist that Section 139(1)(2) ought to have been applied?
Yes, Chair.
The county did not apply Section 139(1)(2). It is upon us as a committee to make a recommendation, because I believe then the offences have been defined in the Act.
Yes, Chair.
Failure to comply with this is an offence, and I'm sure there's a manner in which it has been framed in the Act. As to the last paragraph on the procurement of the new system, we can deal with it when we come to the receiver of revenue report.
Noted, Chair.
So please, and again, maybe just to give guidance, on the last limb, keep that in view, because I am sure that implementation is not complete.
Chair.
Weaknesses in management of county vocational training centers. Your conclusion is that optimization of the benefits from VTCs to the public cannot be confirmed.
Yes, Chair.
So is this a question of effectiveness or a question of lawfulness?
It's both effectiveness, lawfulness, and effectiveness use of public resources, and equally internal controls, Chair, because there are three. One of them is accreditation, where you find that some of the courses that are being offered have not been accredited by TVETA, NEC, or CDAC. And also we have the issue of irregular hiring, and also the competence gaps. So it's both lawfulness in use of public resources and internal controls. That's a governance issue, Chair.
So I can see the management comments. There are about 3 paragraphs to it. Honourable members, I want to propose that we will go through those management responses and see whether they satisfy the issues that have been raised by the Auditor General, failure to which we shall make recommendations, binding recommendations. Unless there's any other observation on that, we go to failure to establish sub-county level 4 hospital. Again, Auditor General, you indicated that Manyata sub-county did not have a level 4 hospital.
Yes, Chair, it doesn't have a level 4 hospital.
Is it a question of lawfulness or effectiveness?
It is lawfulness, Chair.
What is the basis in law?
Their own county, Embu County Health Service Act 2024, Chair. stipulates that there's in each and every sub-county, they're supposed to have a level 4 hospital.
Okay, Governor, what is your communication to the people of Manyata sub-county?
Yes, I would like to state the following. Number one, when we came in, we found that there was a new...
Governor, I'm sorry. Sorry, Governor. You have a very brief management response. Why don't you read it first?
Okay.
Yep.
In line with the audit observation, the county management has 3 sub-county level 4 hospitals, and none has been established in Manyata sub-county. The government is, however, at an advanced stage of upgrading 4 more health centers in sub-county hospitals, one of which is in Manyata sub-county. The Embu level 5 hospital is also domiciled in Manyata sub-county, which has all along served the residents in all healthcare matters. So what we did after we came in, we looked at the gaps that were there in terms of level 4 hospital, and we decided to upgrade two of our level 3 health centers into level 4 hospitals, one of which is in Manyata, and we've been doing some infrastructure upgrade so that we are able to ensure that it has all the necessary facilities for it to be accredited as a fully fledged level 4 hospital. Then we got a new sub-county that was set up towards end of the last term, around 2022, and it is in an area that is very needy in terms of health support. They had no level 4 hospital at all, and they also were very far away from the level 5 hospital. So that's how we decided to put up a level 5 hospital in Gategi Health Center, which I think there's a matter just below it on the same. And so we are in the process of building that level 4 hospital. It's at an advanced stage. We are just about to complete the maternal and child health, and then we can do a bit of upgrade on the wards and the other facilities. We already have an OPD that is fully operational. We started with that. Now we are doing the maternity side and the inpatient side.
Members, I think the lawfulness bit the auditor is citing is that there's an act of the county assembly.
Yes.
That makes an obligation to provide certain services.
Yes.
Makes an obligation to establish a county health management team, health quality and assurance unit, health facility improvement board, etc., etc.
Yes.
I think this is an observation that we might want to action to the county assembly, because it is their law that is being breached. And they are also the ones who provide budgets. Even if you are to do all those things, the budgets will come from the county assembly. So, honorable members, since it is a law of the county assembly that is breached, this could be one of those recommendations we are asking the county assembly to provide oversight and to demand an implementation status on the act that they passed. I think it would be impractical for us to direct you to go and build a level 4 hospital in Manyata, and yet this is a law that came from the county assembly, and they are the ones who would provide a budget. If they had provided a budget for it, and then it was taken to build the governor's house, that would be the concern of the Senate.
Yes.
So can we leave this for the county assembly to pursue as part of their primary oversight mandate?
It's important, Chair, once again I state that we are actually in the process of upgrading one level 3 hospital into a level 4 in Manyata.
Yeah, that's
and
okay.
We have started works already.
That's okay, because it is a county assembly law. They should hold you to account to it.
Yes.
And if you fail to do what the county assembly has recommended, then it should escalate to the Senate.
Sure.
Senator Sifuna?
I feel for that county assembly, because they might also receive a letter on that law, but that is besides the point. I am a bit worried, Governor, when we have this conversation about you upgrading other facilities, and I know we'll get into it, Chair. I've seen a total of around 11 stalled projects, and I can count 8 of them are health facilities. What assurance can you give the people of Manyatta that you will ever get their hospital to level 4 if these other ones?
But it's already work in progress. It's not like I'm saying I will. We are already doing it.
Governor, please, let's...
It's called Kairore Health Center.
Governor,
Yes.
let's talk to each other. That way...
You know, you asked me a question, so I was answering.
I had not finished.
All questions are processed through the chair.
Okay, Chair.
And I'd indicated that this meeting will be as fast as we are brief and as long as we have a boss. Senator, I'm not pulling the rug under your feet.
You know, Chair, it is impossible for you to answer a question before it has been put. And the governor has reminded us that she was a member of parliament. Please just let her wait for the question mark. She will know
I am controlling.
Yeah, she will know when I've
proceed.
finished my question. So the question was, what assurance can you give the people of Manyatta that the things you're telling us here will actually happen in light of the conversation we're going to get into? You have 11 stalled projects, 8 of them I can count either dispensaries or other health facilities and morgues.
Chair, you know, he's talking about 11. I have completed 32. I am in the process of finishing 29 this financial year. So the 11 is what will remain to be done in the next financial year. But out of 85 health facilities, Senator, that I found incomplete, this is how I have done it so far. And I have the report here.
So let me.
I am willing to do that. And one of them.
Governor, sorry, a suggestion that will help all of us. Why don't we focus on the specific ones in this report, so that we are not discussing a hypothetical situation? And I want to plead with Senator Sifuna that let her not address the global, let the governor address the specifics. It might allow us to make better use of time, because the next query is stalled construction of Gategi Health Center and idle health facilities buildings. So if you agree, we can have this conversation,
yes,
but by referring to the audit query before us. Fine. So on the level 4, we are challenging the county assembly to do some work on that. On Gategi Health Center, what is the...
Chair,
Auditor General, what was your concern, so that the governor can...
Chair, this particular health center had stalled. However, some documentation has been provided to us to show some amount which has been allocated aside for its completion.
Sorry, it should have been completed on 12th of June, 2025.
Yes, Chair.
Chair, let me respond to that. Actually, it had not stalled because of lack of finances. It had stalled because there was a concern about the kind of design that had been put up that did not take into consideration other user facilities that were critical. And so I said, stop this construction, relook at the design, come up with a design that is holistic, because we are building a level 4 hospital, and I wasn't comfortable with what was on the table. But I'm happy to report here now that we are actually at very advanced stage in completion of this facility. It's moving. I was there in December, just before Christmas. I saw it with my own eyes. And it is one of those projects that we are keen on making sure that we operationalize by the end of this financial year, if not early the next financial year.
And I'll keep stopping you when I feel you have answered the question and you're going overboard.
Yes.
2 things. What is the percentage of completion? And if it is not 100%, what is the completion date for this facility?
And Chair, maybe she can take both questions. You know, it is extremely worrying from my perspective. I just would want to understand the process of project conceptualization in Embu. That we are being told this is something that was awarded on 12th June 2024. This was a project you conceived as an administration. You did not inherit from your previous...
Yes,
we are being told, Governor, you spent 23 million already in this facility. You are the ones who conceived and designed it. Then at some point after 23 million, you say you are not happy with it.
No.
Take us through the process of conceptualizing projects in your county.
No. Let me explain. Maybe I wasn't clearly understood. When I came into office, I realized that we do the planning, the budget planning was compartmentalized. So you find somebody saying, if you give us 25 million, we'll complete these projects. Then they go and budget against the 25 million. And so anytime I ask, so when will we complete and when can we say we are able to operationalize a particular facility, they start to say we'll need to go back and look at what more works is remaining. So I said we can't plan this way. This is not the way we budget. We must have an end-to-end planning and then budget against that end-to-end plan so that we know if this financial year, if you're doing a multi-year budgeting, you know that if we give 23 million, we'll achieve this percentage of completion. If we give another, and to complete fully, we'll need 60 million, for example. So we'll need 23, the next financial year we'll do another whatever amount. So I had a problem with the way the department had been doing things in the past, and that is why we found 85 projects that had mushroomed everywhere, but they were not complete because they were giving 1 million, 2 million. It's a dispensary. You have budgeted 2 million for a dispensary. Clearly, you can't. And then we also agreed we must have a prototype dispensary. So when we say we are building a dispensary, it's in our minds. We already know this is the amount likely to be spent to finish a dispensary. In our case, our prototype dispensary to completion before equipping is coming to about 12 million. And we were happy with the design and we approved it. So this has been work in progress, and we had system failures that we needed to sort out and also change the mindset and the thinking of the planner so that they can be planning end to end. And so part of the reason
Governor, part
of the reason I stopped Gategi was, number one, I wasn't comfortable with what it is they were saying they would achieve with the first 23 million. So I said, even before you finish that first phase, can I see exactly what it is you're going to do with this money? Can I also see what the entire project is going to cost? So we went back on the drawing board. And it was just a few months and we were back again. And as I said, and I welcome you, please come and see. It's a beautiful project that
Governor,
is nearing completion.
The answer that we are still looking for is, as per the contract, when do you expect to complete it? As things stand now, what percentage of it is done?
We actually at over 60%, because in December when I went there...
So if 23 million is 60%,
and we put more money in this financial
therefore means that
budget.
it will come to 40-something million.
It's likely to go to about that amount, but can you allow me to give you the exact figures so that I don't mislead this committee and the exact percentage, because I was there in December and they were moving pretty fast.
Because in
so
my
that
view,
I give an up-to-date
in my view,
report.
if I was the professor sitting next to you, that would be the answer I would be looking for. Not the background. I would be looking, fine, tell me why you suspended, but thereafter, we are at this percentage, this is our expected completion date, this is our expected expenditure. We have the money in the budget, and I assure the people of Gategi that we are completing this by 10th of March or whatever date. That's as simple as that. Unless members, you're looking for anything different from that.
Yeah, I will give that information if you'll allow me. I'm sure it is readily available with
if you had presented
our project manager, unfortunately.
Governor, if you'd have presented it as your written responses, we would have moved on to the next issue. So
Yes.
that's just for you to improve
Yes.
in terms of providing factual responses
Yes.
to the issues raised by the Auditor General.
Construction project. 23 million is not pocket change. It's very serious money. You cannot approach a construction project in the manner in which the governor is explaining. That people come to you and tell you, if you have 23 million, we will do this thing. I thought people come, like I have built a Simba at home. They come and tell you, this is the design of the project. You will need X number of bags of cement. You will need X number of mabati. And a BQ is prepared. But in Embu, you are telling us, it's like when I go to the butchery there, and they ask me, unataka nyama ya ngapi? I say, niko na 20, wanakukatia.
Senator, maybe you didn't, maybe I didn't explain myself in the manner for you to understand. I said...
Governor,
yes,
Governor.
Yes.
We had agreed as a committee that this meeting was going to run up to 2. But it is taking longer because you are over-elaborating, with due respect. And I mean, there's nothing wrong in providing more information. Let's be more specific and direct. Senator Sifuna, maybe, is there a specific question you're asking,
yes,
or you are making an observation? Let's distinguish between an observation and a question.
Actually, I'm just confused at how the county of Embu approaches construction projects.
So that's more of an observation.
Yes.
So that it does not warrant a detailed response from the governor.
Chair.
If she can clear my confusion, I think
Chair,
we can make progress.
Okay.
This project was very dear to me. Okay? Very, very dear to me. I said, go and do a design. We are going to start with a maternal and healthcare unit. That is maternity with everything that is required in a maternity unit. And then I was told that it will cost some money. And I said, I want to see the design, I want to see the BQs. And then in the process, one of the technical people said, you have left out an important aspect of this hospital, which is they stated whatever it is they thought was missing. So I said, stop, don't move until that has been cleared. Then we move. But I also told them, don't come and tell me for this phase, give us 23 million. First, tell me this is how much the entire project will cost, and then let us phase it out and do multi-year funding. What is wrong with that?
Governor, are you as a governor involved in design, BQs and procurement?
No, I'm not. But I have to know what it is I'm financing.
That is a narration and impression you are giving us. And that's why I'm saying, let's focus on the audit queries, because the elaboration is going to invite a lot of problems.
Chair, you know, we were with you in Turkana. These are critical matters. And you know, when the public accuse us of not doing our best to make sure public resources are properly utilized, I can understand your impatience because of the time. But on this one, please just allow us to do this. We went with you to Turkana, and we were shown a construction project where they told us they had pumped 30 million Kenya shillings into. Chair, just from a cursive, just from you just visually seeing that structure, you can tell that that is not 30 million. You can tell. So even this one, and Chair, I want you to see it.
Which one?
This is 23 million at...
And I see.
You told us you know it.
No, but I want to see how it looked at the time they took a picture.
Governor, I am chairing this meeting. Allow me to chair the meeting. Let Senator Sifuna ask the question. You will respond.
This laptop belongs to the OAG. It's not Sifuna's laptop. They have told me that this is Gategi Health Center, this one, where 23 million has been put in.
And I see.
You know it.
No, let me see the picture.
Oh, the only person
I mean,
who needs
maybe
to
the
see
building
I
is
think,
different from the one I know.
Clerk.
Is there anything wrong with me looking at the picture?
Oh, I'm the one giving directions. Clerk, you can share that picture with the governor.
Can I see?
Well,
No, let me
the
see.
governor has demanded to see, so I
Please,
have
let me see.
no
Let me
problem
see.
sharing that.
Let me see.
Just scroll up and down. That is the substructure.
But the,
I
Let me
think
see.
hold your horses until you see it, so that
Let me see.
you are responding to what you have seen.
where is our...
Okay, you may share this with the government.
Manager.
Just a minute, Governor. Is that the project?
Yes, but this is.
Okay, fine. If that, no. Let me ask the questions. Auditor General, on what date were those photos taken?
In December 2025, Chair.
In December 2025. Since December 2025, Governor, has there been significant progress on the project?
You know, I would like we go with them, because when I went in December, around the 20th of December, I personally went on a project inspection. The project was on second floor, it was roofed. We went round the whole place. The residents themselves were there. They were doing cabro outside. They were now waiting, remaining tiling and windows.
Governor,
So,
Governor, our concern is value for money. In fact, if you were to tell us that when you went there, the project was complete, I would be very happy and I would have a problem with the Auditor General. But from your description, even when you went there, it was still work in progress. And that is why we have asked you a very mathematical question. Percentage completed, expected completion date. You are not giving us, you are telling us stories. Why don't you just give us your expected completion date, the percentage completed, percentage or amount of money that has been spent on this, so that we stop the rhetoric?
Yeah, and Chair, of greater
project
concern.
is at 76% complete. Expected completion time is 30th April 2026.
That is
and I welcome this committee to come.
Fine. So you have laid the facts. That's okay.
Chair,
Senator Sifuna.
That's a different set of facts, because you did ask that question before. She told us it was at 60%. When we were looking at...
As at December when I went
please be
there.
protected, Chair?
Governor,
my point.
please, let's be orderly.
Chair, you put a question to the governor on the total cost at completion. You were saying if we have spent 23 million already.
And 60%?
Yes, and she said 60%. Now she has adjusted it to 70 what? %. These are different set of
Chair,
facts.
I was
But
there in December. I have seen as at December.
Governor, please, you will cause us to be here up to 8, and I don't want us to be here up to 8.
Chair, can I please
Not every statement must be responded to.
No,
not in my committee.
This statement.
So, Senator Sifuna, are you done with your submission?
No, I am being interrupted.
No. Senator Sifuna, you need to be done so that we give the way forward.
This statement also, Chairman, if I don't respond,
yes, I will
mislead.
If there is need to respond,
when I was there in December,
order, Governor.
The project was at 60%.
Governor, order.
Today it's at 76. Chair.
Order, Governor. Order. We had a conversation before we started this meeting on how we want to conduct this meeting. The emotions coming here are completely unnecessary, because no one is accusing you of stealing money. No one is accusing you of breaking any law. I don't want ego tussles here. If someone accused you of stealing money, you have a right to defend yourselves. So let's differentiate matters. Senator Sifuna, just conclude so that we...
In fact, there is no accusation that I have made. This photograph has been shown to me by the Auditor General. You know, Chair, I have never been to this place. And at the beginning of these conversations, we say in this committee that the Auditor General is our eyes and ears on the ground. They are saying that was as of December. In fact, my concern was, does that represent, that stage of work, does that represent 23 million Kenya shillings? And the Governor, I know you are a public figure. Everywhere you go, you have a press team. All you needed to say is, I was there in December, these are my photos. And then we conclude.
I didn't have the photos.
So honorable members and Governor, order, Senator Mundigi. The Governor has submitted that this project is expected to be completed on 30th of April 2026. The Governor has further submitted that the project is 76% complete. We sitting in Nairobi have no way of establishing that. We ask the Auditor General to keep this in view and give us a more detailed report at the implementation meeting. Senator Mundigi, stop doing that. You cannot direct the governor.
Allow me
The last time that
share
happened,
the pictures of December when I visited.
Senator Mundigi, order. Order, Senator Mundigi.
That we only believe OAG. It is the only body mandated.
I think everyone is becoming disorderly now. Governor,
Yeah.
Especially
I want to share the pictures
Governor-
of the Tegi project as at 9th December when I went there. So you can see, yeah? I've gone to my page.
Governor, please take your seat. Please take your seat, Governor. Please take your seat. We have told the Auditor General to keep this matter in view. We are not making any conclusive recommendation until the Auditor General comes back to us at the next implementation meeting. Let's proceed to idle health facilities buildings. Now on this, because they're related, these are also related because there's an issue of value for money, that the buildings have not been put into any form of use. To avoid an exchange here where everyone is presenting their own version of pictures in a world of Grok and a world of ChatGPT and AI, the idle health facility buildings for Kiangungi, Kangethia, Gishera, and Gisheshe dispensary. Auditor General, is this a matter that you can keep in view, or is there a criminality in your finding? If there's a criminality, we deal with it. If it's value for money, we keep it in view.
Thank you, Chair. There's no criminality here. It's just value for money. We can keep it in view.
Keep that in view.
Status also.
Stalled workshop at Siakago VTC. Is there criminality
May I
here?
report something about the said dispensaries? The ones mentioned here, kindly.
No, what we'll do, Governor, we'll take your written responses. I hope that dispensaries, again, is there criminality there? Or
No criminality, Chair.
it's just value for money?
Yes, Chair.
We keep it in view.
Yes, Chair.
Stall project, governor's official residence.
No criminality. Just lower value for money. We'll give also the status, implementation status.
I think this matter came before us in the last audit report.
Yes, Chair.
Just what are the issues? And then we can hear from the governor.
Equally, the project has stalled. The contract price was 49 million. Approximately 29 million has been paid. And there's no contract on site.
How many million has been paid?
29.
Against 49.
Yes, Chair.
With 55% complete. Is that the position?
Auditor,
Yes, Chair.
I think to avoid misunderstanding, if you're going to address this, just read your finding so that no one is accused of having the wrong percentages.
Thank you, Chair. Stalled project governor's official residence. As previously reported, the county executive entered into a contract for construction of governor's residence with a firm at a contract sum of Kenya shillings 49,703,439 on 8th March 2021. The contract period was to run for 72 weeks with expected completion date of 8th September 2022. The county executive was required to allocate funds and prioritize construction of houses for the governor and the deputy governor on public land in accordance with the specifications therein before the stated deadline. However, at the time of audit in September 2025, the governor's official residence was not complete, and the last certificate of work done revealed that the project was 55% complete. The project appeared to be stalled since the contractor was not on site. The building is deteriorating and the wood used has started to rot. Requests for an engineer's opinion on the status of the building were not provided for audit review. No evidence was provided for review to confirm whether the contractor had sought for extension of contract period or default notice issued to the contractor by the county executive. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the SRC circular of 20th May 2019, and the public may not have obtained value for money from the stalled project. I submit.
Governor, I want to recommend that you read your written response.
In view of the auditor's observation, the governor's official residence was not complete. The contractor acted in breach and the contract was terminated. The management is planning on budgetary allocation towards funds for completing the facility and bringing it to use. I have a letter for termination of contract. I visited that particular site, Chair, and I want to say I don't even think it was 55% because the amount of work that had been done and the amount of money that had been paid out did not add up.
You feel there was some criminality in
we had a problem with
that?
the contractor because let's just say there was no value for money.
Would we be wrong to recommend investigations into this? Because if you have problems with the 55%,
certainly you can investigate because I feel that that project was not properly implemented.
Honourable members, is there anything more to add beyond investigations?
You have said 29 million has been paid against 49 million. Governor, after this termination of contract, did the contractor accept or he or she has moved to court to challenge the termination? What is the position? Because in as much as you recommend for prosecution and we don't have the contract document here, whether the contractor has agreed to vacate the site and agreed to termination or he has challenged
the chief officer can comment on
okay.
that.
Chair, perhaps this is one of the reasons why we as a Senate, in our wisdom or lack thereof, advised that we do not begin new projects before we complete such existing projects. Because you can see, already they are saying over 29 million shillings has already been paid, and they are telling us the building is just rotting there. That is money that could have gone to help the people of Embu. So this is some of the reasons why we were saying don't start new ones. Just let's complete these ones first to get that value for money.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one thing to terminate a contract, but it's also there's also a duty that if money was paid for no value, that people must be held to account. If there's an officer wanted to explain something.
Yes, the chief officer.
Yeah, make it very brief.
He was responding to Senator Cherargei's.
Yes, I want to confirm that the contract was terminated and after due process of law, and the contractor did not come back, did not respond, he just went away. So by action of the law, I think he has no case to come back. Only the payment that was made.
Question was, are you aware whether they have challenged in a court of law the issue of coming back
No.
or not?
No.
There is no
So
chance.
the time has lapsed?
Yes,
Okay. So you can now re-advertise for a new contractor?
yes.
Okay.
OIG, are we still disclosing contingent liabilities under accrual?
The management is supposed to be disclosing, however, it was not disclosed, Chair.
Yeah, because I see it's all blank, even though this would not be a contingent liability because there is no evidence that anything has been filed.
True, Chair.
Okay, honourable members, we on that particular matter, we'll be recommending that EACC looks at the 55%, but also encouraging the Assembly to provide budgets if this is part of the county's priorities. But if the governor has a nice house where she's staying, then she can continue staying at home. I mean, it's just an issue of priorities. I believe between putting up a
Actually, that was my challenge.
palatial residence and
Chair,
the level 4.
I have 85 health facilities waiting to be completed. I am in a home right now. I'm not sleeping out. In terms of priority, I think that may be why the residents are suffered. Because to me, it didn't look like it was a priority, truly. But I undertake that in this coming financial year, I'll go out of my way to put some money to complete the building after it's been re-evaluated. Or is it
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chair,
Senator Sifuna.
can you clear something for me? I thought the money that is specifically for construction of residences is ring-fenced?
No, it's not.
No, what we did was to provide a conditional grant to a few counties for county headquarters.
Yes.
But for the governor's residence, we put a cap, and that cap was subject to the budgetary, the appropriation of the county assembly. The criminality would be if the governor is still drawing an allowance.
No, I'm not.
So if the governor is not drawing an allowance and
that was made very clear
and
to me.
she's not complaining, she can sleep in an Airbnb, then really it's not for us to insist. But there'll be another governor, Mundigi, who might not be comfortable in sleeping in Airbnbs.
Yeah, that's why I'll go out of my way.
future.
I'll now give it some priority.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine, so let's keep that in view, but the 55% needs to be investigated. Failure to establish and gazette the Alcoholic Drinks Board, has this been resolved?
No, Chair.
What's the problem, Governor? I mean,
Where is it?
how are you doing your liquor licenses?
The department acknowledges the audit observation regarding the absence of a formally established and gazetted Embu County Alcoholics Drinks Control Board as provided under Section 4.1 of the Embu County Alcoholics Drinks Act 2021. It is important to note that the Act was recently amended through the Embu County Alcoholics Drinks Control Amendment Act 2024, number 6 of 2024, which commenced on 16 September 2024. The amendment revised Section 4.3 to update the composition and the appointment procedure by the board. And it states there what needed to be amended. We were bringing in more representation of young people and the NGO, civil society organizations. So following these legislative changes, the department has initiated the process of establishing the board in line with the amended law. Consultations with the relevant stakeholders have also been concluded. A draft list of nominees has been prepared. These nominees will be formally presented to the County Assembly for consideration and approval, after which the appointments will be gazetted to operationalize the board.
What timelines should we be working with?
I think let's give it a month, max, we should be done.
So we'll put it within our 60-day implementation follow-up. We keep that in view.
Yes.
Failure to surrender interest, the Auditor General says 5 million is still outstanding, but is there evidence that recoveries have been initiated?
Yes, Chair. We looked at the payroll. It's being recovered.
So we keep that in view as well. Irregular engagement of casual employees. On this, Governor, the question we had in mind is that you have guidelines on hiring of casual workers in Embu County Public Service, which states that a casual worker will not be engaged for more than 1 month. And I thought that the national policy puts it at 6 months. Am I right? Someone
6 or 3.
Someone introduced themselves as chair of the Public Service Board.
No, I'm the county secretary.
You can respond to that.
What is the national
Usually
guideline?
casuals, I believe, is 3 months, but I can confirm that.
It's 3 months. So why? Of course, you are not bound by circulars from PSC,
yes,
because you are county governments. Why did you, in your wisdom, bring yours down to 1 month? You were just curious about
this
that.
was a document of the County Public Service Board, and actually I had not seen about the 1 month, to be frank. I knew it is 3 months, even in our discussions with them, it was supposed to be 3 months. I am actually noting this now. I had not seen the 1 month.
So then, what did you look at this
now,
report?
on this matter, Honorable Chair, actually the 442 staff are not newly recruited staff. These were staff that had been previously engaged by the hospital boards, and they were getting paid through the manual payroll. So when the government directive came that we have to put everyone into the IPPD, then the board advised that...
sorry, County Attorney. County Secretary.
Secretary, yes.
County Secretary.
Yes.
The basis upon which the OAG says you are not in conformity
Yes.
is your guidelines on hiring of casual workers. Do we agree in Embu?
I remember, I have not, sorry, but I have not looked at it. If
Well,
she says
the OAG
that
looked
is
at
what is
it,
there,
gave your management
my belief
letter.
was 3 months, not 1 month. I may have to relook the document. I don't have it with me.
So were
Because
you
even in our
prepared,
discussion with them,
were
we
you
had agreed
prepared
3
to
months.
address this query? If the basis of non-conformance is contested, then how do we proceed to discuss the non-conformance?
My understanding was that the basis is about the irregular recruitment, new recruitment, as new recruitments, not on the timelines of 1 month.
No, the timeline it's significant.
Yeah.
It's very, very
I
significant.
overlooked that, sorry.
So how do you propose we deal with that if we are not agreeing on the basis of the non-conformance? Because these are your guidelines. They're not national. And I agree that the national ones do not apply to you
Yes.
unless you don't have something.
Yes.
So, because you should be telling us you are going back to look at it and amend it so that it is
Yeah.
in line with the national one, or you are going to comply with it. But
1 month may be
1 month
difficult.
is impractical.
Yes, it is.
That's the point.
It is.
But it is what you have.
That's what I'm surprised about. But allow me, I bring it up with the Public Service Board.
Remember, we are at the Senate. We must make a final determination and send our report to the House. We don't have that luxury.
Could you give me time, like maybe even 30 days?
Are you familiar with Article 229 that gives us only 3 months to conclude this exercise? And the courts have told us that those timelines are mandatory. And so we do not have
because this
we don't have any latitude to donate that
this
timeline
would
to you.
require editing if it is indeed 1 month. Allow me, even if it's a week, we can have an ad hoc, a cabinet sitting after we have reviewed this 1 month to an appropriate.
Who's the custodian
timeline.
of this?
The County Public Service Board.
Are they here?
They are not here today.
So who was coming to respond to this query beside the governor?
Now that they were aware I was here.
Yeah, the good thing about your account is that you are very frank. You guys are frank. When you don't know, you say you don't know, which is good, but dangerous as well, because this you ought to know. So, members, how do we deal with this?
Give us a week, please.
To do what?
This,
a week? What do you want to do within a week?
What you want to do within this week, reach out to the County Public Service Board, have a review.
I thought, Chair, you asking the committee
of this
or
timeline.
the CS is now part of the committee?
No,
I thought it is in the recommendation of the committee.
I have told them they are very nice, they are very frank. So
or she can swap places with Mundiki.
Sifuna used to say of a certain politician, give him the mic.
Yes,
so
give him the mic.
We are giving them the mic to fry themselves.
To entangle. So Chair, I think looking at the HR issues and on these casual employees, I wanted to find out these 442 casual employees, Governor, what is the total workforce of Embu County government? Because if they are doing 442 casual employees, can the Governor give us how many workforce do you have? How many number of employees? And then number two?
We have 3,527 staff. 3,527.
3,567. Of these, 442 are casual.
Chair, I wish to clarify something.
These were former healthy.
Can I finish, Governor?
Yes.
CS, out of these 35 plus, 442 are casual employees.
Can I clarify that particular point that the Senator is bringing up?
Yes, proceed.
That these 442 were actually not new employees. And I think that is where, and it may have been a failure on our part, because according to OAG, they're saying that they were engaged for 1 month, and even there was no evidence of transparency in picking the casual workers. these are workers that had been picked by the hospital boards long before even county governments were established. And then the national, we were given instructions that every employee of county must be paid through the payroll. So it's at the point when we brought them into the payroll that the 442 were now discovered by the OAG. But there are staff who had been working there. I see they're also saying they were above 35 years old. But they had been working for many years, some of them, at the dispensary level, at the level 2s, level 3s, some level 4s. And so we couldn't have sacked them because they had been employed and we found them in office. And they provide very critical and sensitive services, either as cleaners, whatever it is they do. So that's how they ended up there. But I also want to say there's a very big, there seemed to have been a what word can I use? The Public Service Board went ahead and gave 1 month under the basic guidelines of hiring public casual workers. Yet at the point when we brought them in, we gave them 3 months contract renewable. So that's, I think, the thing we need to go and clear with them and come back. And I think that can be done in a record 1 week.
Governor, maybe for us to understand, because in our earlier briefing, we realized that there were very many issues relating to HR. Even issues of lack of annual recruitment plan, that's a responsibility of the board. Yes. Issues of there are others, ethnic composition, 1/3 basic salary, staff above mandatory retirement age. The public service board that you have, is it a board that was established during your time in office or you inherited it?
No, I inherited it, but we now have a new one that came in December.
In December of last year?
Yes, it was a very problematic.
Would you attribute that to
yes.
the
yes.
kind of scenarios
yes.
you're seeing here?
Yes.
Would you then give us an assurance that going forward, things are going to improve?
In fact, they are already improving. We have a board that is more responsive to the issues affecting the government and that is really working hard to streamline things. So going forward, I am sure you'll see a different picture of things.
Fine. So, honorable members, these HR issues, we keep them in view. We can resolve the issues. If not, we are going to give fairly strong recommendations because the human resource is one of the most important resources in county governments. I want us to go ahead to, there are quite a number of issues there where we can base our recommendations on the written responses. But there's one on the County Appropriation Act 2024. Auditor General. Actually, it starts from 18. Lack of annual development plan. Lack of ADP. And then we'll look at non-compliance on the County Appropriation Act. And then we'll also look at the other observation in the ROR, collection of revenue without a finance act.
Thank you, Chair. Lack of an annual development plan. The county executive did not provide the annual development plan for the financial year 2024. For 2025 that was submitted to the County Assembly. And this was contrary to Section 126, subsection 3 of the PFM Act, County Governments 2012. I submit, Chair. Do I read all of them?
No, I mean, let's just be...
I can respond, Chair?
Yes, because there is no way a county could develop budgets without an ADP.
Exactly.
So let's see why you did not present that to...
The CEC member responsible for planning submitted the county's annual development plan to the county for approval, County Assembly for approval, and also sent the copies to Commission on Revenue Allocation and the Treasury as required by the law. The plan is available in point. A hard copy may not have been given, but you cannot have a budget without an ADP.
But, Governor,
Yes.
if the auditors asked you for your ADP, why didn't you provide it to them?
That's what I want to know from you. What happened?
Because you can't tell the auditor, go to the website and find it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Chair, maybe
Let the
as is a process, is not an event. So, Governor, let me ask, and your officer should know this, there is always an entry, exit meeting, management, and even issues are normally raised by the, I wish the Governor was listening.
Sorry.
Chair, my only concern to your team and yourself, there is entry, exit meetings, management, response letter, all those issues are raised before the close of any financial year under review. My simple question, because in this annual development plan, which is a normal policy issue, and you know, non-provision of documentation under Public Audit Act is an offense, my only concern is, do you normally, you yourself or even your officers meet the OAG? Because if this issue had been captured in management letter, they would not be escalated to become an audit query. Do you normally meet with the OAG?
You know, Senator, I've been very strict about the issue of entry and exit meetings and response to management letter. And I'm actually asking my CEC, how did this find itself here? Because an ADP is a thing we have. Why wasn't it given when it was required? Why does it have to find its way in a final report?
Can we get that answer? Because even what you have done is fairly contemptuous of the Senate by telling us that it is available on the website. If the auditors flagged it and you didn't produce it and you are coming to the Senate, then table it at the Senate as evidence. You can't tell us to go to the website to find it. Can you give us an explanation?
Our explanation is that we provided all planning documents, including Appropriation Act, physical paper, all those documents that are required to have a budget. And
if you are
we could not understand,
CEO,
yes.
If you are put to task to provide evidence that you provided those documents to the Office of the Auditor General, what will be your evidence?
We even submitted those documents through the soft copy, and we have that evidence.
What soft copy?
All these documents, all planning documents.
No. What would be your evidence? Because the auditor has reported that you did not provide these documents. For me to disagree with the auditor, you must give me evidence.
And I
because you have not even given us a copy of that document.
We will give you a copy, but we provided auditors, and that's where we are differing with them. We have the appropriation, the annual plan.
Yes. Officer, you are. I think you are not helping this situation. Auditor General, these people are accusing you of being frivolous and being unprofessional. And I don't take that lightly, because you cannot accuse the Office of Auditor General of unprofessionalism and frivolity. If this matter is here in the report that has been tabled in the House, what does it mean?
Thank you, Chair. As stated here in our report, the county executive did not provide the annual development plan that
and saying about the lack of it, that should have been responded to immediately.
I think for us to make progress, your responses, whoever authored these responses does not understand why you came to the Senate. Because you cannot tell us that instead of bringing evidence, you are telling us the plan is available in the county website. It is not my job to go to the website to fish for a plan. And it is not the job of the Auditor General to go to the website to fish for a plan. There are two things that must happen here. Governor, you must take administrative action on the officers who are supposed to provide this information and did not do so. And secondly, we shall invoke the provisions of Section 62 of the Public Audit Act because it defines such conduct as being offensive to the law.
Yes.
Now, let's go to the County Appropriation Act. Is it the same story?
Yes, Chair, thank you. The county did not provide to us approval from the Speaker of the County Assembly to the Executive Committee member, granting authority to withdraw from the County Revenue Fund an amount of 606 million and 290 million for recurrent and development expenditures, respectively.
So, Governor, in responding, could you just help us by showing us the appendix with that approval?
Yes. Just let me respond, Chair, and state the following: withdrawals totaling to 606,491,986 and 290,384,401 between July 1st, 2024 and July 14th, 2044 for the recurrent and development expenditures, respectively, were in respect to the year 2023-2024 financial year when we were reporting on cash basis and the cutoff extended to mid-July. The expenditure the funds were committed to was reported in the financial statement and audited accordingly. The cutoffs have been presented to auditors for verification. Usually, Chair, at the end of the financial year, sometimes the Treasury, especially if they know they have delayed the exchequer, grants us an extension of a week or 2 weeks window to be able to make certain payments with the monies that they may have given us towards the end of the financial year. And this is exactly what happened, Chair. Would you like
Auditor General?
Chair, we can get clarification from a representative from Treasury who is here on the issue of the cutoffs and the extension.
National Treasury?
Chair, I want to believe that the auditor was asking on the approval to withdraw. Even if it was for the cash basis, they shouldn't have produced that.
So what did we expect? Maybe in a language that in English that we can understand.
Yes.
What exactly?
Sorry, Chair. Maybe
just a minute. Just
a clarification from her.
Just a minute.
Chair, even if they withdrew money for the other financial year, there must be an withdrawal approval. They shouldn't have given to the auditor to show that it wasn't for the current financial year, but for the other year.
Fine, that's a fair comment.
Okay, yeah, that's
so even if it was a different financial year?
That's very clear, actually. You think otherwise? What?
Thank you. Through the Governor, Chair.
And you see, sorry, Governor and Prof, the problem with the supplementary answers that are not here is that if we might not remember them when you're writing our reports, we'll just cite you for violation of the law. But let's hear what the CC has to say.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, through the Governor. The issue that we understood the auditor to be asking is like we needed an approval, like maybe withdraw or spending on foot on account. The budget we are referring to is a budget that had already been approved by the County Assembly. So I do not think we needed a further.
Did you, Prof, did you sit with the OAG and look at the management letter and express your reservation and interpretation on the matter at that point?
No, but
so why are we doing it here at the Senate? Because I said the auditing is not happening today. The audit was closed.
I want to, that's the same explanation that was provided, Chair.
Chair, we need also to clarify, when did we expense it, this money, and which budget? Because the issue of appropriation is about going to county assembly, and then we expend as per the budget. And what happens here, we usually process our payment by the end of June, and because the money is usually released almost by 30th or just near the end of the month.
CEO,
yes.
You are taking us to the trees, we want to see the forest. Treasury has said that even if it was for the prior financial year, there ought to have been some authority. Why didn't you provide that?
That's where I'm coming in, and I'm explaining our processes. We process payment as at June, waiting for money. So our payment are usually in our IFMIS and IMB in internet banking. So what we wait, and we already put by closer of 30th June, we do our request to COB. Now COB releases that money in July. So ours is only to pay to the various beneficiaries. How can that be go back to approval to the speaker?
You are answering questions in your head, not the questions that are before us.
Chair,
Governor,
I think I'm here.
Governor.
Yes.
Governor, your written response here says that the payments were for a different financial year, and therefore the approval of the speaker on an appropriation bill that came into force on 15th July 2024 does not apply.
No,
and
you're getting it wrong, Chair. Let me kindly, respectfully correct that perception.
Fine.
What happens with the county governments is that, we get sometimes very late exchequer releases. Towards the end of the financial year, Treasury will tell us, we'll probably release some money to you next week. And then they don't release. But we start processing the payments in readiness, so that by the time we get to 30th of June, we have started the processing awaiting COB. So when the money is released by Treasury, then we usually seek for extension for us to be able to make payments against the previous budget, not the current. That is why we do not need the Speaker's approval, because you're not dealing with the current budget. You're dealing with the previous budget.
I'm with you on the same page, the exact same page.
Yes.
And that is what the Treasury has clarified. Did you have the Speaker's approval to make payments for that financial year where there was an extension? Definitely yes, isn't it?
Yes, we did, because it was already passed by the Assembly.
Why didn't you provide it to the Auditor General? Because I do not imagine that you withdrew, you spent for an entire year without the Speaker's approval. That is unreasonable, isn't it?
Just let me ask a question again, maybe out of ignorance. If a budget was already approved by the Assembly, and you've been spending money against that budget for the entire financial year without going back to the Speaker for approval, does that mean that if you've had an extension by Treasury which has pushed you to the next financial year and the budget is still the old budget, you'd still need the Speaker's approval? Just out of...
Governor,
just asking.
You guys are going round and round. You should have listened to what the Treasury said. Treasury, can you just repeat it? Because they are not getting it.
Chair, I wish to repeat the same. Though the budget was for the other financial year, the withdrawal was made in the current year.
Yes.
The system does not go back to the year the previous year. The auditor will check on the transactions that are made in the current year. The system will not tell the auditor they were for this financial year. So what you need to do is go back, get all those documentation to explain to the auditor why this money is being withdrawn this financial year and it was for the other financial year. So those documents must be there. Even if you are to produce the approval from the speaker there for the whole year, it would have explained to the auditor what it is.
So I do not want any further argument.
Okay,
I want evidence now. Now I want evidence. I don't want further arguments.
Let me give final submission. I think we are differing in principle, because the same IFMIS, and I've said here, we have two systems that we use. IFMIS is the one that is the budget or other appropriation act. We wrote our budget, and even the processing payment are done in IFMIS. Once we are through with the IFMIS, those payments go to another system, like a bank, CBK. So, as at the end of the year, we close all the payment and we submit that file to the control budget. The IFMIS is active with the Appropriation Act. And every time we close our IFMIS system, we are around one window to close all the transactions, and then a new financial year is opened. So I believe Treasury is not.
This is a problem with.
We don't use the new financial year.
Order, Chief Officer. Order.
Yes.
I do not think your submission is more useful. This is a problem with technicians. This matter came in a draft certificate. It came in management letter. I cannot entertain this kind of conversation before me, because this is not where the audit is taking place. CPA Tunga, ISPAC.
No, I just wanted to alert the Chief Officer that indeed she has put it very clear. So I wish you just followed the comment she put. Then you will understand that now different 2 financial years, but you are spending within 2 financial years, though it's for the other budget. That will have sorted everything for you. And then you will understand why the documentation is important. Thank you.
Yeah, because your officer is focused on winning the argument. This argument ought to have happened at the point of audit. Auditor General, what's your final take on this before we give the way forward?
The management to provide us with the approvals, whether it's from Treasury or the County Assembly. Either of them has to approve for this expenditure. And in most cases, when the Treasury delays with the Exchequer, it normally guides the recipients or the beneficiaries on which year for the amount to be accounted for. So kindly also, when they'll be submitting their responses, let it also be accompanied by a letter from the Treasury indicating in which year, particular year, that last quarter was supposed to be accounted for. Thank you.
And you had already made this request to the entity?
Yes, Chair.
Now, Governor, you must do 2 things: take administrative action, and we must also invoke Section 62 of the Public Audit Act. But since the technical people are having different shades of gray on how this should be, we can allow 7 days for those documents to be presented to the auditor so that we can close it, because we have just wasted 10 minutes that we should not have wasted here at the Senate. Senator Dulo.
Chair, I just wanted to know whether this requirement is within the policy, practice, or the law, because I'm sure there are many counties that are doing, or rather they are in similar situation.
Yeah, it is within the law. And that's why Treasury, if it has to delay in submitting of or disbursing its money, it has to make a circular, giving the extension of the dates, then give a schedule, date and when the money has to go. So it is within the law that they shouldn't disclose the same, because if it's not explained, who will know which money was for when?
So,
for which financial
Chair, they are confirming that actually that circular was made available, but then we should have made it available to the OAG. I think really that was
is what was supposed to have been done simple. 15 minutes ago. Yes. 15 minutes ago, before we went into this long story. Now, again, tied to that, so we are moving from ADP, not provided, Appropriations Act being queried. I think let's tie all this. When you go to the ROR, you are talking of collection of revenue without a finance bill. and revenue streams policies. Is this also another issue of interpretation of what is required? Let's tie this together because they're all related.
Thank you, Chair. Under R1, the collection of revenue without a finance bill and revenue stream policies. Can I read the entire query?
So maybe we just pause and ask, did you have a finance bill? Was this also subject to this interpretation that, or misinterpretation that we have gone through with ADP and appropriations?
We now have a finance bill, Chair.
But it is true that then you didn't have a finance bill.
We were using an old one because we found that nothing had been done before and the process took a while, but now we have an up-to-date finance bill.
Yeah. So in that financial year, you're using the finance bill for which, or the act for which year?
Where is that? I'm trying to go for page. Is it here or the other? We are in the other document.
It should be in the receive of revenue. I'm looking at the time, and we must find ways of tying the two reports together.
What page? Page 9. Collection. Yes. During the financial year 24-25, the authority operated without an updated Finance Act as the Finance Act 2024 had not been enacted. Consequently, the agency relied on Finance Act 2019 to administer revenue collection. However, in response to emerging and evolving revenue streams, the authority expedited the review process, culminating in the enactment of Finance Act 2025. The updated Act now serves as a critical instrument intended to ensure the full realization of a county's revenue potential through improved alignment with current economic activities. In addition, the agency initiated a comprehensive exercise to identify, formulate, and develop critical policies across all revenue streams in collaboration with respective parent departments. This ongoing initiative is aimed at strengthening governance, enhancing revenue administration, standardizing operational procedures, and supporting sustainable revenue growth across the county. The initiative has been coordinated by the County Secretary, as annexed in the memorandum dated 18th July 2025, Annexure 3.
Whereas the PFM, I think we have seen situations. Meru also had a similar situation where they could not convince the assembly to pass the finance bill. I think we also had a similar situation at the National Parliament. The only concern would be where you are using a finance bill that is older than your CIDP. Because if you're using the finance bill of 2019, I'm sure when you came into office, you came up with a fresh 5-year plan.
We did. And
which needed to be funded.
Yes, and then we did a proposed finance bill, which went to public participation. And you're aware of the hit that was not only, that was across the country. It caught up with us at the county level. So we were unable to engage the masses on it for a while because the environment was completely not conducive for us to go far with it. And so thereafter, we began now public participation. We finished on our part, took the bill to the assembly. They also started their own public participation until they finally passed the bill.
Again, this is a matter that we'll be asking the county assembly to be seized of because the finance bill is a county assembly bill. Sometimes it is the public that rejects it. Sometimes it is the assembly that frustrates it. But I think maybe in terms of making recommendations, we would have a problem. We would have a problem with a finance bill that is older than 5 years. 2019, no, not older than 5 years, but older than your CIDP. That is problematic because you can't have all these grand plans and then the financing of it is not aligned. We have found a route into the ROR statement. And in the ROR statement, Governor, these members were a bit concerned that 50% of your revenue is coming from hospitals. And that even what you reported as a growth in revenue, that total growth came from hospitals. We would have expected that growth would come from other revenue streams because you are stimulating the economy, cash is flowing, and you're broadening your tax base and improving your efforts. In that year, you collected 919.6 million. Is that true?
Yes.
Is that the right figure you have?
Yes, I think. Yes, that's the right figure.
919,665,412.
Yes.
We are aligned on that figure.
Yes.
Out of which 497,318,867 came from hospital fees.
Yes.
What percentage is that of the total?
What percentage?
That's about 50%.
About 50%, yes.
Now,
Slightly under 50.
No, it's more than 50. It's 497 million against 919 million. So that's already it's above 50, isn't it? I saw you were very proud, Governor, for growing your revenues from 746 million to 919 million. I think prior year was 746.
Yes.
So that was a growth of about 170 million. But all that growth is attributed to hospital fees. I don't know what is your view on that, what is your strategy on that, because it is not sustainable. With FIF, I don't know whether, Auditor General, I don't know with FIF, with the FIF law properly implemented, whether hospital fees would still be sitting here in the ROR statement.
No, Chair. If it is well implemented, the amount will not be reported in an executive or ROR.
So if they report properly on accrual basis, separating the funds, the on-source revenue for Embu, ideally ought to have been something like 420 million. Does this concern you, Governor?
It does, but if you look at the history of OSR in Embu County, the highest revenue always came from the hospital, even when there was no FIF. And when we came in, I think because of the changes we made at the hospital, making sure there were drugs and, improving on efficiency, we collected more. And now with SHA, it is even much, much more. So the thing we hope will help us is, number one, that as FIF is enhanced and gets better, as we are seeing currently, that we can be able to release a lot of what we pay for the hospitals back to the hospitals in totality. Because even up to now, we are still having to put aside some money for supplies at the executive. Because we do not want a situation where we wake up and we are told we have no drugs and we have no money. We want to make sure that that continues. And then also, like this 412 staff that you mentioned earlier can be absorbed by the hospitals. If that happens, it becomes easier for us now because they have taken all their FIF, yet we are paying all their staff. We are still having to pay several other budgets for them. But again, let me say we have come up with a strategy. We actually launched a strategy for improving on our revenue collection. We have diversified our revenue streams so that we can be able to collect where we ordinarily never used to collect. Then with the new system, we've been able now to lock the the pilferage that was there before, where a lot of the money probably found itself in the wrong hands or in the pockets of some people. So with the new system, we really think we'll be able to collect more this financial year than we have done in the past. And then we have also registered all our businesses digitally, so that we are able to tell what business is where. We are able to tell when a business pays up, this business has paid up, this one hasn't paid up. And with the new finance bill, we've also enhanced, although very minimally, some of these fees, so that can, because the other one was quite old. And so we expect that there will be some difference this financial year.
So, honourable members, we, with respect to ROR and subject to the other queries that will come, quite a number of those issues will consider the written responses, but let me give Senator Cherargei the opportunity.
Governor, according to the CRA revenue potential, outside the hospital fees and public, which is 517 million as per your financial statement, the revenue, ordinary revenue, let me call it that, is collecting 400 plus against 1 billion. Apart from the leakages, the digitization, and we saw that matter arose when you are talking about Jumbo Pay and KRA developing revenue collection system. So which system are you using now? You have said you have automated, you have done this. Which system are you using now? Number one. Number two, what strategies are in place to ensure you maximize collection of revenue to at least approach to the revenue potential? And then number two, specifically on land rates and land rents, do you have strategies like waivers and other strategies in place to ensure that any person within your urban centers are able to pay for their rates after at least giving them waivers so that you can collect land rates automatically? So what are in place apart from the leakages? Out of these 442 employees, who are these people who are collecting? Are you hiring more revenue clerks to ensure that efficiency, or you are just using the issue of the automation of revenue collection system to achieve the CRA revenue potential that has been given to EMBO of 1 billion plus against 400 million plus that is being collected? I have noted, Chair, in the response of the governor, that in one of our responses, she had indicated that it is because of, just a moment, that it is because of revenue fall that affected most of the, I think it was on the pending accounts payable. You had attributed that there was there was, however, an additional bill of 333,718,734 attributed to the shortfall in own source revenue. So I don't know where you place that, so that vis-a-vis the revenue potential plus the strategy in place to improve the collection of revenue within the county government of Embu. I yield back, Chair.
Chair, let me say, first of all, the CRA projection for Embu County and potential that they stated was stated before FIF came to be. So at that time, they were saying Embu County has a potential of up to 1.5. And we also felt that if with a new system in place, and the fact that we had also employed new staff who had been revenue collectors who had been trained, we'd be able to actually hit the 1.5 mark. So I must say we were overambitious because, one, the new system took longer to get to come in, and the rolling out took a while longer than we thought. And so that also affected our collection, especially outside of FIF. Number two, we had not anticipated at the time we were coming up with this that the impact FIF would have on the OSR. So, but now with that in mind, we are now planning outside of FIF, because we know FIF money cannot come to help us in the other projects. So we are working to make sure we improve on it. But just to be able to answer the issue of the system, allow me to to ask our CEO Revenue Authority to explain a little about the system, in just 1 minute.
Okay, make it brief.
So do you have a revenue board? I've had authority.
Yes, we do have Embu County Revenue Authority that we put together, put the board, employed new staff, ensured we cleaned up the mess that was there. Yeah, but let me also say, Senator, that that 400 that you're talking about had never been collected in the history of Embu County government. Outside of FIF, this is the highest that we've gone in terms of OSR. Before, even with FIF, with the hospital fee, it would hit about 350. So we've improved, but I want to say we still have a long way to go, and there's room for improvement.
Okay. Was that the receiver of revenue that you asked to speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair, through our governor. Chair, it is 3 years we embarked on getting the new system on board. This started way back in the year 2024, but then we finally managed to have a contract in April of 2025. And in April of 2025, Chair, we managed to do a tender, which was national, and the response was good. So when we onboarded the supplier, the service provider, we entered into an agreement where there were service level agreements that we came up with, and the milestones that the way they were to be implemented. And the rollout happened on July 11. And the agreement with the service provider is that we wanted him to automate all our revenue streams within a period of 90 days. However, it was not, we were not able to meet the 90 days. But then to date, I want to confirm that all the revenue streams have been automated. Now, we wanted, Chair, to leverage on that system because there were so many inadequacies that were in our previous system with the Jumbo Pay. And that's why we are confident that the 400+ million that we did under the local revenue sources, we should be able to get beyond that. Actually, our projection is about 700 million. That is what we are working towards. Thank you, Chair.
Now, there are so many things we could talk about, but as I said, the audit was already done, and the auditors had more time. And the Senate has only one morning and afternoon to review the report of the Auditor General and take recommendations to the House. But the good thing is that in this year, we have built a system where once we have made our recommendations, we give you time to implement, and we review again mid-year. The issues around ROR, particularly the issues around automation and processes, systems, I hope that your responses are detailed enough to allow us to write a report and to come up with proper recommendations. Because if your written responses are weak, then we might crucify you for lack of information. So between the report of the executive, the report of the receiver of revenue, and the report of the county revenue fund, we have prosecuted the key issues that we thought related to lawfulness, related to effectiveness, or had a hint of criminality. And I think that on the basis of the responses that have been tabled by the governor, we could be in a position to do a report to the House. Unless there is a matter from the OAG that is extremely, extremely important, where you will need our guidance, where you feel that the county has not responded properly in writing. If there is such a matter, bring it to our attention. Otherwise, we shall retreat, do our report, and make sure that by 31st of March, we communicate on the resolutions of the House. OAG?
Thank you, Chair. We really appreciate for this session. Probably they can just also provide us with the responses to the HR issues that were in the special report.
Okay. And again, Governor, I see some disconnect between your team and the Office of the Auditor General. There are things we are discussing here that we should not be discussing here. And so go back and deal with that situation. If you need to train your people, if you need to warn your people, because I feel like there's 1 hour we have spent here which we should not have spent. We could have discussed other more important policy and value for money issues rather than arguing on whether a document was provided or not. So please, in my experience, the Office of the Auditor General, they are professionals and I've found them to be very useful in terms of even improvements in internal processes. The next time we have this kind of engagement, please make sure that the chair of your audit committee is also part of the delegation. Please make sure, where is the chair of the audit committee? Where's the sergeant at arms? Sergeant